Okay, bring the red building closer. Perfect. Yeah, the fountain next to the carousel. Okay, and those ships. Oh, hi, the Iberians. We're sorry, we were just arranging our neighborhood, okay? What? That your dream is also to lead the reconstruction of your neighborhood? You're in luck because you are in the right place. We will do it thanks to Cities. Cities is a game designed by Phil Walker Harding and Steve Finn with full of details art by Jorge Tabanera. This is a game for 2 to 4 players that lasts 45 minutes, no more. In Cities, you will lead the construction of a neighborhood in a city and next to the waterfront, and basically you will place all kind of colored buildings and parks and all kind of decorations and amusement things just to build the best neighborhood possible. To do it, you will choose city tiles, you will place a lot of elements on them, and you will try to maximize the points at the end thanks to your scoring points and trying to fulfill the achievements of the city. Everything to score more points than your opponents and win the game. Let's take a look to what's inside the box and then we will show you how to play cities. The first thing you will find inside the box is the rulebook. As you can see, you have a 4-page rulebook, so it's an easy to understand game, you'll see. And you have also the main board right here with a space for the city tile. The game includes 8 different cities, okay, all those, each one with different achievements that will grant you points if you fulfill them, okay. So you place it here, and the remaining spaces for the board, it's like a market, okay, with different rows for the different elements. First element you have are the scoring cards. Those cards, they will give you victory points depending on some elements that you may have in your neighborhood at the end. You have the city tiles here, the starting ones with the black and white back, and ones that will be in the market with a colored back. Each city tile has 4 spaces. There are 3 different spaces. The gray ones are the city spaces, the ones with the grass, the park spaces, and the water spaces. Each one will have different elements that will go there, but for the city one, for example, you have different colors. Those colors belong to the colors of the buildings that you must place, or you may place here, okay? So if it's blue, you must place a blue building, but not a building of another color. Down here, you have the feature tiles. Those are decoration elements that you will place on top of the city tiles. Obviously, the background in those tiles correspond to the background of the spaces where you must place them. So you have elements for the parks, elements for the water, and you have elements for the city. That one with a gray background will act as a wild space, so once you put it here, we will see that, okay? But you can place the building of the color of your choice here, and the sculptures will give you victory points at the end of the game. And finally, you have the space for the buildings. There are buildings of 4 different colors, in green, yellow, blue, and red. And there's a back also to randomize the display of those buildings in the market here. In this space, you have the star token that star will be given to the first player of each round. And you have the score track to check the score at the end of the game. Also, for each player, you have the following elements. So, repeat it 4 times. You have 8 workers, but you will use just 4 in a regular game, okay? You will use 8 workers just in a 2-players game, okay? In 3 or 4 players game, you will use 4 workers, 3 achievement rings to claim one of the achievements when you fulfill it, and 1 score token just to track your score at the end of the game, as we said. You have also an 8 card, 1 for each player, with the number of different feature tiles that you will find here, and how to score at the end of the game. So all those are the elements that you will find in the box. So let's put all of them together and do the setup, and then we'll show you how to place cities. For the setup, just place the main board at the center of the playing area. Choose one of the cities. For the first games, we recommend to choose New York City or Rio de Janeiro, but totally up to you. The only thing that will change are the different achievements here. Okay, then shuffle all the elements, the scoring cards, the city tiles, and the feature tiles, and place them on the corresponding spaces on the board. Okay, if you have a very tall pile, just put them next to the spaces where they belong, and don't display them yet. And place all the houses in the back. Place the star here, and now each player takes their elements. Okay, so the 4 workers, 8 if you are in a 2-player game, the 3 achievement rings, and the scoring marker. Just put it here at the beginning of the track. Now give the first player token, the star, to a random player, and shuffle the starting city tiles and create like a draft, okay, starting with the last player, so the one that is sitting to the right of the starting player will choose the first one, and following counterclockwise, each player will choose one starting city tile. Once you have done that, you're ready to start playing. Well, take one of the 8 cards, just if you need it, and now you're ready to start playing cities. Cities is played over 8 rounds, 4 rounds if you are in a 2-player game. Okay, and during each round, players will alternate turns, starting with the player with the star, performing one turn that is basically choosing one of the elements here and placing one of the workers. Once all players have played all their workers and take the elements, the round will be over, and then you will refresh everything and start a new round. Okay, so during your turn, what you must do is to choose one of the elements. You have 4 rows, okay, and take it and place one of your workers in the corresponding space. In the same round, you must choose one element from each row. So at the end of the round, you will have taken one scoring card, one city tile, from 2 to 1 feature tiles, and from 4 to 2 buildings. Okay, but you cannot repeat in the same round taking elements from the same row. Okay, so if you have already taken one city tile, the next thing that we must take is one of these, or one of these. Okay, perfect. There's a small exception in a 2-player game that players, because you will play just 4 rounds, players must go twice to take elements in the same row. So you will take 2 elements here, 2 from here, 2 from here, and 2 from here. Okay, so that's the thing. If when you take a scoring card, just keep it next to you, and well, check the conditions, because at the end of the game you will score for the things that you have according to the scoring card. Okay, all those cards, they make reference to things that you will have here, like spaces with water, spaces of parks, buildings of a certain color, of a certain height, etc., etc. So just check this. If you take a city tile here, okay, you must place it fully adjacent to a city tile that you already have on your neighborhood. Okay, so here, but you can rotate it in the position of your choice. Okay, so if you start here, we can put it here, for example, it will be okay, or here, or even here, wherever you prefer. Okay, perfect. Okay, when you take the feature tiles, you may place them in the corresponding spaces. Okay, so parks in parks, water elements in water elements, and city spaces in city spaces. Okay, so at the end of the game, you will score for different elements that you have in a single space, in a space of park, all connected or totally connected. Same thing with water elements and city elements. The only one that will grant you victory points are the statues, 2 points for each statue. And as we said before, this one will act as a while space. So here you are not forced to place a red building. With this one, you can place the building of your choice here. And finally, whenever you take the buildings here, you must place them on the space of the corresponding color. So for example, blue in blue, yellow, we have no yellow, but we can put 2 greens here. So you can put them in a space of the matching color or on top of a building of the same color to a maximum height of 4 pieces, okay? But if at some point you cannot or you don't want to place a feature tile or a building, the buildings and the feature tiles that you don't place are removed from the game, okay? They are discarded. You cannot keep anything for any further future turns, okay? So that's the thing. During your turn, you will choose one of the elements, one from each row at the end of the round, and place your worker, and all players will continue this way until all players have placed all their 4 workers. Then the player in the rightmost space in the buildings row will take the start, so that will be the first player in the next round, and you will remove the remaining elements here. In a 3-player game, one thing from each row won't be taken, so remove all of them. Reveal new ones for the next round, okay, so just place 3 face up and 1 face down, if you see the question mark here. Same thing here, same thing here. In here, it's just you take them from the back whenever you go here. Okay, and start a new round. Another thing that you must check at the end of your turn, not at the round, when you have finished your turn, is to see if you have accomplished one of the city achievements. Once you complete one of those, just put one of your rings in the highest available score of the corresponding space. Okay, let's imagine that we have that one, so we will claim the 5 points and we will score them at the end of the game. Okay, in a 2-players game, the values in the middle won't be in the game, so you will score or the highest one or the lower one. Okay, and that's it. You will continue playing until all player has complete a 3x3 neighborhood. That's important when you're placing the city tile. You can place it whenever you want, fully adjacent, but you have to remember that you have to complete a 3x3 neighborhood, so you cannot play 4 in a row or 4 in a same column, okay, 3x3. And once you have completed the 8 rounds, it will be time to check for the winner of the game. So now it's time to check who's the winner of the game. And to do this, you just have to check all the different scores that we'll tell now and move your marker in the score track, and at the end the player with more points will be the winner. In case of tie, the player who won more points because of the achievements will be the winner. So the first thing that you must check are the achievements, okay, the achievement points, okay, just check the ones that you have here, the ones that you have accomplished during your turns, and score those. Then you will earn 2 victory points for each statue you have, so in our case those are 4. Then you must check the points for parks and water spaces. As we said before, you will score for different elements in the same space. So for example, here we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 park spaces, okay? In those 2 we don't have any element, and then you will score 1, 3, 6, or 10 points, depending if you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 different elements. So in our case here, we have 2 different elements in this space, so those are 3 points. Here we have 1 element in this part, so it's 1 point. For the water, it's exactly the same. We have 1 ship here in this space, so it's 1 point. We have 2 different elements in this water space, those are 3 points. We have 1 element in this water space, 1 point, and here we have 3 different elements, so those are 6 points. So if we had the 4 different elements here, that will grant us 10 points. So just add those points to the score track. And finally, check the conditions or the points granted by your scoring cards, okay? Just check them one by one. We won't do it right now, but as we said before, they will be related to the the buildings you have and the height of the buildings and the number of spaces of water space, for example. So here, for example, it grants us 1 victory point for each building with a height, exactly height of 1. So we have 2, so that will be 2 points. Or those here, it will give us 2 victory points for each set of buildings of the 4 colors. So because we have 2 blues, well, 3 blues, 2 greens, 3 reds and 2 yellows, we'll have 2 sets of the 4 different colors, so that will be 8 points. And because you can have the same card twice, so 16 points thanks to this card. So just check for all the cards. And finally, when you have added all those scores, remember the achievements, the points for the statues, the points for water and park elements, and the points because of your scoring cards. At the end of everything, if you've managed to have more points than your opponents, congratulations, you have the most beautiful neighborhood in the city. And basically that's it. Draft tile placement game, family friendly, easy to understand, but that we are sure that you will want to play more than one game in a row. So we hope you enjoy it, and remember, keep playing. Bye.